I'm not worried. I'm happy. I love that video. Welcome, everybody, to our world famous happy Sunday gathering. I know we've got many people who are returning. You've been with us before on our Sunday gatherings, and I know we've got some people here for the very first time. Welcome to our global family. Yes, that's right. If you've been watching the chat box, we have people from all over the world that are here with us as we celebrate life and the afterlife. It was 229 weeks ago today that we started our very first Sunday gathering. Tough times. Yep, COVID was in planet Earth, and we thought we would share a little joy and happiness short term, which has now become a forever thing. We base our Sunday gatherings around spiritualist services, and with that, part of it is a medium demonstration. So we do share a reading and an address and some healing and music videos, and of course, there's a medium demonstration included, and we'll explain how it all works as we go on. I'm joined today by, I call him my brother from another mother. That would be Darren. He and I first conceived this idea of the Sunday gathering, and look at us so many years later. And then our dearest friend, Dominic Boag, who's just, well, if you haven't met him before, he's going to go right into your heart because he is so very special. I've said enough. I'm going to turn it over to Darren to talk about our theme today and what our Sunday gathering may or may not look like. But with that, remember, folks, smile. All right, Darren, over to you.
Thank you for that, Sandra, and hello to each and every one of you, and thank you for joining us. As the music was playing, I was amazed to see all the different places where people are cropping up from. You know, Singapore, the Caribbean, different states in the US, different places in the UK. And it's like, wow, you know, that makes me happy. That makes me smile. We're actually speaking to people from all over the world, different parts of the world. So thank you for being here. Today, you obviously have myself, Darren. I think many of you have met me before. If you haven't, massive welcome to you. We've got Dominic Boag today, who's orchestrated our Sunday gathering, you know, as in who's doing what on our theme. And I know somebody guessed it, Gen B, I believe it was. It's about be happy, you know, and like Dominic said, you know, there's a lot going on in the world today. You know, in the UK, we've had a lot of riots going on over the past week or so. You know, there's a lot of unrest in the US, you know, with who's going to be the next president and what have you. And there's wars, you know, continuing to develop in all different parts of the world. And it's so easy, you know, especially with media now, the way it is, you know, to be sucked into the negativity. And sometimes we need to just take that stop, take that breath, and let's say, let's be happy. So that's what this theme's all about. You've got Dominic, who will be doing the opening prayer and the mediumship and part of the address. You've got Sandra, the hostess with the mostest, doing all the behind the scenes stuff, making it all work and making it all magical and making it flow as it does. Sandra will also be doing our reading and our healing segment today. And then you have myself, who'll be doing part of the address with Dominic, the closing words for the week and the closing prayer. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Mr. Dominic Boag to open us in prayer.
Thank you, Darren. And again, an extended welcome to each and every one of you. Whether this is the first time you join us or you're here on many returns, you are all very welcome. So let's take a moment for contemplation, and just allow ourselves to be at one for a moment. Divine infinite intelligence, Father God, and the world we call unseen, we ask that you open up this gathering with love, compassion, and healing. Allow us to feel your presence and allow us to know the truth that life truly is eternal. Allow us to come together as one from different hearts, different homes, and different language, but allow us to understand your language which is love. Take us by the hand as we walk through life and show us that life itself is precious, and allow us to know that there is no need to fear death, but death is only a wind in the road where change will come once again. We ask this all in your name, but most importantly, we ask this with sincerity and with love. And all this we say, Amen.
Thank you so much, Dominic. And now for your reading. Earlier today, I remembered this parable, so I had to look it up so I could read it to you. A Chinese farmer loses a horse, and the villagers say, "What bad luck!" The farmer replies, "Maybe bad, maybe good. We'll see." The next day, the horse returns with several wild horses, and the villagers exclaim, "Wow, what good luck!" Again, the farmer says, "Maybe good, maybe bad. We'll see." Later, the farmer's son breaks his leg while trying to tame one of the wild horses. "What bad luck," says the villagers. The farmer's response, you know it, "Maybe bad, maybe good. We'll see." Finally, the army comes to the village to draft young men for war, but leaves the farmer's son behind due to his broken leg. "What good luck," cheer the villagers. The farmer simply says, "Maybe good, maybe bad. We'll see." Just like the villagers, isn't it easy for us to assign meaning to the events that happen to us in our lives? In my own life, the death of my dad brought me to such a dark, dark place. The grief of his loss, plus the grief of losing the relationships that I had with my siblings and not being able to see their kids, my nieces and nephews. And I realize this happens so often when a parent dies. I wish at that time I was that wise farmer and told myself, maybe bad, but maybe good. We'll see. I wasn't so optimistic in those days, but now looking back, little did I know that this painful event would lead me to a discovery of the world of grief and the afterlife. But it gave me answers to the pain we all feel and why there are so many miscommunications and arguments among family members. Little did I know that I'd develop the courage to start sharing my story, to share about my discoveries, about grief and the afterlife, to join some like-minded new friends who have become my best friends. And ultimately, all of that has led me here with you today on our Sunday gathering. I honestly feel so blessed that I can be here. And when we talk about happiness, there's not a single Sunday gathering that's happened that has not left me happier and in a better place than when I began. As hard as life gets, you never know when the toughest times can lead to your best times. Today, my daily inspirational quote, I've got a little book of them in my bathroom. It said, "The secret to being happy is accepting where you are in life and making the most out of every single day." Believe it or not, when I read that, that little voice in my head was quick to say, "Hey, my life isn't perfect, and there's more that I want." See, it's not stuff that I want, though. It's good health for my mom. I've also never given up hope that my family and relationships with my siblings come back together. Thankfully, I have those relationships with my nieces and nephews. But I know right now with you too, there's so much uncertainty, there's grief, there's pain, there's challenges. If we accept where we are in life and make the most of it, you know what word comes to mind? Well, to me, that word is gratitude. It's the one magical word that can truly take us from suffering to feeling better and maybe even to happiness. Research has shown that gratitude moves people to experience more positive emotions, to thoroughly enjoy good experiences, to better their health, more apt to face adversity and develop and maintain relationships of strength, which in turn make us happier. There are 3 common ways we can express our gratitude. One is being grateful for our past. For example, thinking of positive childhood memories, or like I just shared, think of where you are now is because of something that happened in the past. We can be grateful for that. 2, we can be grateful for the present. Look around you and see all the wonderful things that are around. Be amazed at life. If all else fails, even if you're in a rut, take out a piece of paper and a pen and write down 10 or 20 things that you're grateful for, even the little things. Those kind of things can really shift us into feeling much, much better. 3, we can be grateful for what's to come. Yes, in the future. For example, we can be optimistic and hopeful and even excited about the future, even though we don't know what it is. My friends, I do believe good things are coming our way. Like I feel it in my bones. If you're a fan of books like The Secret or The Power of Positive Thinking, you may have experienced, I've experienced this, that if we give thanks today for something in the future as if we already have it, it can bring about some surprising and, dare I say, miraculous effects. Research has also proven that when we live with gratitude, we are healthier, happier, and may even live longer. While we are together on our Sunday gathering today, we ask that you dig deep into your heart and into your memory and acknowledge some things you're grateful for. If you're willing, feel free to type them into the chat box, all right? Thinking of gratitude. And for some extra credit, you can share your gratitude with someone else. Now, I don't mean just here on the Sunday gathering. I mean somebody in your life. You can take turns expressing what you're grateful for and even express why you're grateful for them. If you want to take it one step further, you can ask people about their favorite memories, favorite vacation spots, what it was like when they met their partner or their spouse for the first time, or maybe if they have kids, what it was like when they got to hold their child for the very first time. But be forewarned, this positivity most likely will leave you both feeling grateful and happier. So thank you for listening to my reading. We are going to move on to our healing now. Our healing is a time where we listen to a nice, gentle piece of music, and we offer ourselves up for energy to be used wherever in the world healing is needed. There is a real thing about distant healing, and it works, and it helps. I believe that those in the unseen world can take our energy and direct it to where it's needed, to people, pets, places, all those, even to yourself. We can never offer and give without also having some retain with us. I find a good way to pray for healing is to just imagine people healthy, whole, well, perfect, complete. I do know there's some people in our community that are in some need of healing, both for grief that they're experiencing and also some physical needs as well. So we can use that attitude of gratitude. We can feel grateful. We can just kind of release that to the world and let those in the unseen world do with it what they like. But I'm going to find the song for our healing, and then the next voice you'll hear will be Dominic, followed by Darren for our address. So join me, friends, in the healing.
Oh, what an incredible, incredible song. It's a song that has so much beautiful words and lyrics. You know, I was getting shivers just listening to those beautiful, beautiful lyrics. But yes, as a lot of you have gathered, the topic or the theme that I had chosen for this beautiful gathering today was be happy. You know, exactly like Darren had said, there's a lot of unsettlement going on in this world. There's a lot of unrest. And unfortunately, we choose to pay attention to more of the negative going on in this world than what we do the positive. And if we start to actually think about our behaviors and our habits, I ask you, if you're paying attention to the media or the things that are going on in the world that perhaps you cannot change, but actually it's having an effect on you. It's having an effect on how you see the world, how you look at race, how you look at politics. And what that actually is doing is getting into your fiber, it's getting into your energy, and it's taking away the good in life, and we're focusing on the negative in life. But how do we be happy? Don't you agree that it is every single person's basic rule or basic hope to be happy? It's everyone's given right. Everyone deserves to be happy. My happiness will be worlds apart from Sandra's happiness, and Sandra's happiness will be worlds apart from Darren's happiness. Everyone's happiness is going to be completely different. But when we look at all this unrest and all the war that's going on and all the politics that we don't necessarily have control over, it got me thinking, how does Dominic be happy? And what is Dominic's happiness? And I started to really focus on what I choose to look at in the world. A silly thing. Today, I was out a walk and I was walking in the city of Glasgow, which is very much like a small scale New York City, very hustle, very bustle. And I was walking by the river and I could hear the birds singing. So while we were in this concrete jungle, I could hear the birds singing. And it just made me think, all those birds are happy. All those birds don't know what's going on with all the construction work or all the building or this or that. And as I kept walking, I then seen people from different nationalities passing by each other and smiling and saying, "Hello, beautiful day. Isn't it nice to see the sunshine?" And it really had me thinking, simple actions actually help others on their pursuit to happiness. Sometimes if you're at the store and you're waiting to be served at the checkout, what is a simple gesture to look over to the person standing on the next aisle or the next counter and just say, "I think your top's beautiful. Very nice to see you," giving a smile. That then is going to make them feel happy that they were acknowledged. Going to a restaurant, going to a bar, if you are in the position financially to maybe leave a little bit more of an extra tip, that's going to help someone else and someone else find happiness, because maybe they are $20 short of being able to get their cab home that evening. And if you're able to give them 5 of that, they'll get a little bit more happiness, and, let's hope that they get home safer. Happiness comes from many different places, and happiness starts with you. How many of you still to this day are chasing the dream? Chasing the dream that may feel so far away because you're still on the job, like Dolly Parton said, working 9 till 5. What a way to make a living, seriously. Trying to climb that ladder, but feeling like you are getting nowhere because it's a rich man's world out there. But you yourself, you deserve to be happy. So yeah, you might be chasing that dream, but you have an option to say, well, maybe this year we can't afford to fly over to Europe and have the big fancy vacation that we would like. But I can choose to take trips with my friends and my family that won't break the bank and still have happy times with them. I remember years and years ago when I was just a child. I know I still am a child. I can hear you all. But I remember we didn't have a lot of money. My mum was raising 3 kids, sometimes on her own, when my grandparents weren't able to be with us, or they were or on their own vacation. My mum would fill up the car and we would drive and drive and drive. And it felt like we were driving for such a long distance. And we would go to the park and we would get out the car and we'd put the blankets or the shawls down on the grass, and we would have picnics, and we would play, and we would sing, and we would have lots of memories. And the sun would start to go down, and gently the moon was coming up. So it was time to then take that long journey home. But the journey home always seemed quicker. And now, as a 33-year-old man, I realize that that car journey was actually only 15 minutes drive, that my mum would take long ways to make us feel we were going on vacation. We were on a road trip, and it was only 15 minutes. There was no financial loss or lots of money spent on big fancy luxury hotels or the beautiful pizzas from the pizzeria. All it was a family, or I guess you could say a mother, just trying to help her kids in the holidays, in the summer, find happiness and be happy. So what I'm really getting to is you have that choice to either focus on what makes things negative around you or actually focus on what will make you smile. But also, let's look at karmic law for a second. If you can help someone else feel happy, that's going to come back to you at some point. So yeah, maybe you recently found a burst pipe in your bathroom and, you've had to get the plumber out to fix it. Darn, we didn't want that to happen, but hey, the rest of the house is solid. Get out there and look at the roses you've just planted and smell them and be happy that the birds are singing, the sun is still in the sky, and you've got health. And even if you've not got a beautiful ray of health, what if you started to go a little deaf, or maybe your family's had a little bit of a fallout? Yeah, that's negative, and well, let's be frank, that's life. But look at other things. Look at other things that will fill you with joy and fill you with happiness. And keep chasing that dream. Whether it's going to be a lifelong dream that you have to keep chasing, it's best being on the chase than having nothing to chase for. Think about your life and take ownership of your life. And happiness can come from within. Even today, you had that choice of, well, do we really want to go and listen to that Sandra and that Darren that always go on and on? Do we really want to try to listen to that Dominic in Scotland? Or do I want to go and sit in the yard with maybe a little pina colada and listen to the birds? No, you made a choice to come and be with us three amigos. And I hope that we will give you a little bit of our happiness, because each and every one of you that have chosen to come and be with us has gave us so much happiness as well. So don't think about happiness in the shape of what your bank statement looks like. Don't think about your car or your vehicle, if it's a Porsche or a Lamborghini or just a cheap old Corvette. What brings you happiness is what you do in life. And all I can say to you is go out in that world and smile, listen for the birds, be the best you can, and pass on your smile to other people. And don't worry, just keep going and be happy. So that's my happiness to you. And I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Darren to sparkle a little bit more happiness.
Thank you for that, Dominic. And I've now got the taste of a pina colada in my mouth. And that
Oh,
will
lovely.
happiness. But when you talk about be happy, I sort of sat here thinking, how can you quantify your own happiness? There is no way to quantify, is there? If someone came to me now and said, "Are you happy?" I would say, yes, I am. But if I had to justify that, I'd probably struggle in how to justify it, because things change, things evolve. Like Dominic said, we all have our life goals, our life ambitions. So if I ask you guys, have you got to your life goal or your life ambition? You may say, no, I haven't. So are you happy? You may say, no, I'm not actually, because I haven't achieved it. But you have to break it down, I think. And we all know Mr. Walt Disney. We've all heard of Mr. Walt Disney in one way, shape, or form. And what was his motto when he designed Disneyland? It's the happiest place on earth. How did he derive to that? How did he decide this was the happiest place on earth? And for those of you that have been, I'm sure you'll agree, It's just as much for adults as it is for kids, and it is truly one of the happiest places on earth. Why? Why is it so happy? Because Mr. Walt Disney created in his mind what he believed happiness was. You know, you go into Disneyland, you know, whichever park you've been into, if you've been into it, and it's just full of love, joy, music, animals. You know, you couldn't, it's almost unreal, which it is in some senses. It's been created to be the happiest place on earth. And you can spend a whole day in there, a week in there, if you like, and you can be completely lost, you know, until you come out of there and you're back in the real world, back in reality. But when if you looked at Disneyland as an example, I mean, I've seen a documentary on it, because I'm a bit of a Disney fan. But if you looked, you know, it took years for him to create this dream, this, you know, land of happiness. And if you look at what he went through to get there, you know, he was almost financially broke. He had strikes, he had staffing issues, you know, you name it. And when you look at it, it's no different to today's world, all the issues and problems we have in today's world. And I think as people, we're very infectious, whether that's good or bad, you know, and I try to be a positive, happy, upbeat person as much as I can be. But it can be hard when you look at the media, when you talk to people, and it sounds awful, but sometimes people come into, you know, you may come into contact with someone, and I'll say to Scott, please don't ask how they are, because you know exactly how they're going to respond. You know, they're going to bombard you with negativity. Oh, I got a parking ticket the other day. Oh, I'm tired. And it's not, you know, and it's not the sort of negativity you really want to hear. So we have a motto, say, please don't ask how they are, because you know what the answer is going to be. And I try to do that when people ask me, how are you today? I always try and give the positives. Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, I'm happy. You know, things are going well, even if they're not sometimes. Because I thought I don't like to bombard people with my problems, my issues, because that's exactly what they are. They're my problems, they're my issues. I have good friends, close friends that I can talk to about certain issues to help get guidance or inspiration or solutions. Um, but when we look at ourselves as individuals, I believe, you know, we're truly in charge of our own lives and our own destinies. And we all have that long-term goal, that long-term ambition, whatever it may be. But it's sometimes we have to be a little bit realistic with ourselves, you know. If you want to have that 10-bedroom mansion sitting on the ocean, blah, 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 I'm not saying you're not going to get it, but you have to be realistic. Is that going to happen in the near future? If that was me, probably not. It's not going to happen for many, many years to come, if it's going to happen. So on my journey through life, I have to look at what's making me happy, what's not making me happy. And I need to focus on the things that are making me happy, the same as you guys. And it's even setting little milestones, you know. If you're in a situation where you're unhappy, and I always say to people sometimes when they say, I'm not happy, why are you not happy? And they'll list a reason. It could be they don't enjoy their job. You know, one of their friends have upset them. You know, it can be anything. Sometimes it's trivial things. I had a member of staff come in yesterday and she was miserable. I said, what's wrong with you? She goes, oh, I didn't get much sleep last night. And I said, get over yourself. I said, there's a lot more going on within this world, you know, and it's sometimes you have to be kind of, you know, as blunt as the blunt can be sometimes. And I said to her, you haven't had a couple of hours sleep and you're unhappy. I said, there's people going through 10 times more than what you're going through and 10 times worse. I said, and you're going to go through worse, you know, down the line in your life. So cheer up, put a smile on and get on with it, was pretty much what I said to her. But again, sometimes we allow the outside world to influence us to a degree. And I know people that do it. I try my best not to. I'm not saying I'm the best, but like Dominic talked about, you've got the media. We choose to come in and turn that TV station on. We choose to turn the news on and listen to the news. And I enjoy listening to the news just to see what's going on in the world. But then if we take everything on that news station, you know, that's going on, if we take it on ourselves and allow ourselves to be affected by that, that's kind of on us. You know, we have to try and do what we can to help this world. And my thing is, if you worry about something or stress about something, will it change it? Will it help it? Well, no, it won't. It won't do anything. If anything, it makes your mindset worse, probably. You know, if you think within life, if you're having issues, say financial issues or not enjoying your job, whatever it may be, you could come home from work after having a bad day in a job that you don't enjoy. You can sit and dwell on it. You can think about it. You can focus on it. Is that changing it? No, it's not. So the one thing I would say, how would you change something if you're not happy? If you're not happy in your job, and I say this to people many times, if you're not happy in your job, go and get another job. Yeah, it sounds simple, but in reality, that's what you need to do to change that situation. If there's negative people in your life or around you, there's only you that can change that. Say something to them. Worst case scenario, disregard them from your life. If they're making you, pulling you down and making you negative and unhappy, change it. Like I said, you may have difficult situations and happy situations, but rather than setting that long-term goal of my 8-bedroom mansion on the ocean front, let's set small, achievable, realistic targets. If you're really unhappy, and sometimes I do this, do you know what? Let's paint this room I'm in. Let's change that color to a nice, bright, bold color that I'm going to enjoy looking at. Let's make a date with some friends. Let's go down the pub. Doesn't matter what it is, but it's something to look forward to and strive towards. For myself personally, when I feel unhappy, I put myself a vacation. It may be 6 months down the line, but it's something to focus on it, and it's something to keep you going. And I think as human beings, we have to have that focus and that drive, something to keep us going. So whatever floats your boat, whether it's a vacation, seeing family, going to the park, going from it, whatever it is, book these things in, put them in your diary. And I know in today's world, we can all use that excuse, because I use it quite a lot. I'm too busy. But you know what? We're never too busy for true happiness. So sometimes we have to kind of put the brakes on. Let's stop. Let's look and focus and put all these things in practice. Right, let's book that meal with those friends we spoke about. Let's book that date with our nephews, nieces, whatever it is, and let's go to the park. Let's book that vacation. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be big, can be small, but it just gives you that drive to move forward and continue through life. Because let's be honest, life can be hard. But at the end of the day, I truly believe, and I'm sure you guys do as well, we're responsible for our own lives, our own happiness, and our own attitudes. And I think if we can really focus and make those little changes, like Dominic said, when you come into contact with someone, hi, nice top, love your hair, no matter what it may be. And I know somebody in there did it earlier. Dominic, I love your hair. That probably made Dominic feel $1 million. So think how it makes you feel. So, like I said, as individuals, we can be very infectious. And I think we need to take a leaf out of Mr. Walt Disney's book. He wanted to create a kingdom, an environment that was the happiest place on earth. Why can we not, for ourselves, create our lives and make our lives the happiest in this world? And you know what? There's no real reason we can't do that. So have a think and set yourselves those little goals, those little targets, something to look forward to, something to drive forward to, and truly make your lives the happiest within this world. And you can do it. I know you can. So thank you for listening to me. And I'm going to hand you back to Mrs. Sandra, the happiest woman in the world.
Yeah, a little bit of Disney in me. Yes. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your kind words. We're going to move on now to our demonstration of mediumship. And before we do, I know there's some people in our community that have expressed in the chat box that you're going through some tough times, both emotionally and physically. Sometimes it's not easy to just turn on happiness, but I just wanted to add, when my dad was very, very ill, just before he passed, he was in severe pain. We played a little game with one another, talking about what we were grateful for and the memories. And even when the nurses and doctors would come into the room, we played a little game. Let's see if they can leave happier than when they came in. And believe it or not, in those moments, my dad's pain went down. He wasn't paying attention to it. So it's not easy to just create happiness, but to get out of your own head and, like Dominic said, be in the world of someone else, pay a compliment or something. It really helps. And there's also a fellow by the name of John Cabot-Zinn. I'll see if I can find the book link for you, that made his life about helping people that were in pain release pain naturally. And some of it is like with gratitude and being in the present moment. So I'll find that for you during one of the songs. Okay, time for our demonstration of mediumship. In our Sunday gatherings, it is so important that we interact here as a family of people here on earth, but we also have a family that's no longer walking this earth, and they're every bit as much part of our day today in our Sunday gathering. So today, on behalf of you guys all around the world, you've got Dominic, Darren, and myself. During our medium demonstration, we'll hear from several people from the spirit world. Now they'll be speaking through Dominic to their loved ones. However, they're also here so that we can all gain the benefit of their words. Listen in. Even if you're not the one getting the reading, how close our loved ones are, how much they're still part of our lives. And sometimes, just sometimes, there's a message that you think, gee, I could use a little bit of that. Well, just as the universe picked Dominic, Darren, and I to deliver our Sunday gatherings, I'm sure someone behind the scenes has put together who from the spirit world will come forward. So whether this is your first time here or you have been with us before, here's how it goes. We, as a community, will listen to a piece of beautiful music, a feel-good piece of music. Well, it happens to be Mr. Bob Marley, so that's going to feel good. Three Little Birds. We're going to imagine our loved ones around us. Even though we don't have to imagine, they can easily keep one foot in our world, and they continue to live and go on and explore in the spirit world. Dominic, as our medium, a longtime medium, he will be contacted by some folks from the spirit world. Now, we still are living people. We're no balls of energy or anything like that. And so each spirit person will present themselves to Dominic, probably in various ways, using his memory, his feelings, maybe some pictures, maybe some smells, maybe some tastes. You never quite know. So he will give some initial bits of information about the person that has connected with him. Spirit world is very smart. They know exactly who is here watching or listening to our Sunday gathering today. Even if you think nobody knows, well, your loved ones know. They certainly do. So when Dominic describes the spirit person that has connected with him, if you can understand all the different bits of information that he's described to this person as your person. Now, your person no longer walks this earth, okay? Their body's gone. Of course, they are not. It could be a loved one. It could be a friend. It could be somebody you've worked with. Could be somebody a little distant. But if you understand absolutely everything that he just described as a person, as your person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, we are close to 200 people today on our Sunday gathering. So you want to be sure to accept all of the bits of information, okay? Not just some fit. Please listen for all of it. If no one raises their hand with all the information, Dominic will keep working till we find the person. This is now audience participation. We want each and every one of you to find on whatever device you are on that raise hand button and press it for us, okay? I know, you guys, you've been here before. What's the sense? Because it's happiness today. Play along with us. Press that raise hand button. You'll see the raise hand, it says raise hand, and then it'll say lower hand. This is important to know because sometimes there are more than one person that can take all of the information. So Dominic will continue to work. So ideally, we're left with one hand raised, all right? So if you still can't take all the information, please lower your hand, all right? So that's how that works. If you are someone who works with Dominic or any medium in the future, we tell you don't feed the medium, right? What this means is don't volunteer information about your loved one. We want everybody to leave the Sunday gathering knowing that Dominic really is talking to our loved ones and you didn't volunteer the information. If you are somebody who works with Dominic, I will press a magic button on my side. You're going to get a pop-up on your screen that says host would like you to unmute. Now, it's at that moment you will see a place for you to press the button that says unmute. You can't see that until I press my magic button, you see. When you work with Dominic or another medium, all we need from you is a loud and clear yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they give. All right? Please don't feel bad if you have to say a no, if something doesn't fit, just simply means a new opportunity, right? So don't be afraid. Be honest. That's the most important thing, is to be honest. That's typically how it goes. So we'll hear from some friends in the unseen world. Again, they are our community. The Sunday just in the music. It's a great time. I love this song. Speaking of pina coladas, anytime I hear a little reggae, I think of a pina colada and a beach vacation. But just be here with your loved ones and just feel their love. And then we'll be right back. So
Fabulous, fabulous. What a beautiful song. It just gets you going, doesn't it? That's the beauty of it. But just as I start to allow myself to become aware of our friends in the spirit world, I am very much aware of a beautiful lady that steps forward here just now. And I know as she connects here with me, she would be grandma. She would be your grandma. And I know as I connect here with her, she tells me to talk about. Towards the end, she was very confused. I know she may have had dementia or Alzheimer's. She would have been in a care facility for a period of time. But what she keeps talking to me about the excitement of being presented with a new child. So I know that before she passes to the spirit world, either yourself, being her granddaughter, had your own child, but she makes me excited to talk about getting to meet the great-grandchild. And I feel there'd be a connection either to the name Rose or the name Lily, but I know there would be a floral name that may actually be named after grandma, connecting to this young child.
Thank you, Dominic. All right, friends, who understands this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button, please. All right, we have Karen. Oh, we've got a few people with their hands raised.
Okay, let me just take another moment. I do feel, as well as I connect with this beautiful lady, I feel she wasn't far from turning 100. So maybe she was 98 or she was 99, but I know that the age should be very significant to you as well.
All right, if you can understand all that information, keep your hand raised. All right, Vanita, you have your hand raised. If you could press your unmute button, please. Hi, Vanita.
Hello.
Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Yes.
Yes, we can indeed. Just tell me quickly what you understand, my sweetness.
Well, I understand the flower reference and the age and the young child.
Right. And would you understand where I get the sense of feeling slightly confused before I go to the spirit world?
Yes, dementia.
Yes, because I feel like I want to talk about dementia. I know that I want to talk about the excitement of being presented with this new baby, being excited that this name has carried through in some way, Vanita. But I feel the reason why she's bringing this all up is to tell the family, and especially this new child's parents, that she was aware that she got to see this baby. She is aware. She remembers. She watches over the family is what she keeps bringing to my attention. Do you understand this?
Yes, very much so.
Yes. And I know that when she was alive and when she was well, she was almost like the person who brought everyone together. She was the one that would have all the subs, the sandwiches, the food. She loved to have like picnics and have the family together. She was the place to go, correct?
Exactly right.
Yep. Because I know she talks about she wants the families to know she still is. She's still there with them. And she talks about traditions continuing, the traditions continuing. But when I say this, do you understand, as I say tradition, about her generation, then her children's generation, then the generation after, all like doing like family photographs of all the new generation that comes in?
Yes, yes.
Because
definitely.
again, I know that she talks to me about, I still watch, I still see all of the families coming together and celebrating and making these memories. I'm still a part of it. I'm still a part of it.
Beautiful.
And I
Beautiful.
know it's important, Loretta, just to let the rest of the family know that she is the guardian angel of every single one of y'all. She is there
Oh,
by your side, doing everything she can. But I know that I need to just say towards the end, she held on to meet this baby. After she met that baby and got her photograph taken with that baby, she was ready to go. Would you understand that?
yes. Yes,
Perfect.
definitely.
Please take peace of mind knowing that she herself still has her happiness in the shape of her beautiful family here, my darling. So please let that family know and pass on to the mum and the dad that she watches over and she is so happy that that baby is here.
Oh, beautiful. We named her after her, Rose, and that tradition
Perfect.
continues. Perfect.
Fabulous.
You hit it.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my sweetie. You take care now.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so I'm now very much aware of a brother stepping forward from the spirit world here. And I know as I connect with this brother, he brings to my attention of going to the doctors or going to the ER room with complaints of his head. And I feel he was suffering with headaches or with migraines for a period of time. And I know that he eventually is diagnosed with either an aneurysm or a brain tumor, but I know it's not treated. I know it's not treated because he brings to my attention they weren't able to help him or they weren't able to do surgery or save him. Is what he brings to my attention here. I feel as I connect here with him, he's maybe in his early 50s, so 51, 52. I don't feel he's old by any shape or means, but he's a firecracker. He's a joker. I know that maybe he liked to gamble, he liked to go to the casino. I feel he liked to play cards. I see a lot of card things around him as I say this. And I know there should be a connection to the name Michael as I connect with this man, Michael or Mike.
Thank you very much. We have Nicole with her hand raised. Nicole, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Just tell me what you understand, sweetie.
Well, Michael is his brother,
Yep.
and he is my cousin. We're very close. He
Yep.
died of a brain tumor. They did operate once, but it didn't help. Came back, and they just couldn't help him, so they couldn't operate again. And he
Okay.
he loved gambling and cards, and he was a super
Yeah,
jokester. And
because that's
he
what
was
I kept seeing is like the cards and like the aces and the spades, and I just feel like he loved like having the boys round, if you know what I mean, and playing cards and just that fun sense of is certainly what I feel. But he could light up a room because he had such a strong personality, correct?
definitely.
Yep. And would there be a Joe or a Joseph or a Joey that would connect to them as well?
There's a Joseph in his family.
Perfect.
Yes,
That's okay. I just feel like I would say he's around him as well, or he's with him as well, sweetie, if I
Yep.
could say that. I know that there has been something to commemorate or to celebrate your beautiful uncle that has been either carved or placed in the shape of maybe an ace of spades or an ace in some way, like a card. I feel like something as a token to celebrate him had been placed. Would you understand that?
I believe so. At a place where his ashes
Yep.
are. I
Fabulous.
I haven't seen it
That's
myself.
okay. That's okay. But it's just his way. So you can ask the family for that validation.
Yes.
But I know this would be something you've heard of as the easiest way that I can say to you. He does tell me to say that he did try to fight. He did try to get the help. But I know he accepts that maybe it just wasn't in his line or in his journey to actually receive help or to get better. And I feel like he wants everyone to know and accept that where he is, that Jack Daniels is free, the gambling is free, and that he's having his best time. He wants everyone else to find their happiness in his happiness. This world just wasn't big enough for me, he keeps saying, Nicole. Okay. He's talking to me about you at the moment, not really knowing where your happiness is taking you just now. So I'm not sure if you're planning on moving or looking at moving into a different town or city or something, but I feel there's some form of movement that he feels time for
I'm
you to
very
go.
confused. I'm not sure where to live exactly. I'm maybe building
That's
a
okay.
house. Like I'm just
Fabulous.
kind of a bit
Well,
disoriented.
You send that thought up and you ask him to help you, show you the way, but just trust the process. So you pass that love on to Michael and to the rest of the family, and you let them all know that he's perfectly fine as well, sweetie, okay? So
Thanks
Nicole,
so
thank you so much for allowing me to chat with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is quite funny because they're all coming in really quite fast at the moment, which is nice. But I'm aware of what feels to me husband and wife in the spirit world, and I feel these would be your parents, so mum and dad. I know that they talk about having their own business, and I feel they either had a small diner or like a small restaurant, but I want to talk about their business. I want to talk about the family photograph of them standing outside with the family name. I know there should be a connection to the name Karen because I hear the name Karen being mentioned. I also know as I connect there would be something to do with, I don't know if it's placemats that came from the establishment or the menus were printed as placemats, but I know there would be things still here connecting to mum and dad and their restaurant or their diner. That they would have owned, is certainly what I get here with them. I'm going to surrender that at the moment. I want to go back though and get more, so I'll surrender that at the moment, Sandra.
Okay. All right, friends who understands mom and dad and spirit world and this information, press your raise hand button, please.
And I also feel like Lynn, L-I-N, so either Linda or Lynn would be significant as well, because I keep hearing this name. I almost felt like it was almost like, I don't know if you would call it like a small joint in some way, you know, like a small place, nothing huge, nothing big, but I feel they take a great sense of pride in the old traditions, old family recipes, and the hospitality. That's what really stands out of what they did, the hospitality.
Thank
And I
you.
also
No
feel
one's hand
just
is raised just yet.
Yeah, that's okay. I almost felt as if I was going on the East Coast for some reason, so I may be connecting like Massachusetts or New York or something, but I felt I was maybe connecting on the East Coast as well with this piece of information.
I feel people thinking, but no hands are raised just yet.
Yeah, all I can hear is crickets. I feel Dad may be John, because I keep getting John being mentioned as I go back here. I feel like Dad actually goes to the spirit world with issues with his chest. I know that his breathing would have been an issue for him.
No hands raised yet.
Oh, this is interesting. Let me just recap. I'm very aware of mum and dad in the spirit world together. I know that there would be this family establishment of either a small restaurant or a small bar selling food, but I know I want to talk about the food, the hospitality, the working together. I know the strong connection of John should be connected with dad. I know that he goes to the spirit world with issues with his chest or with his lungs, because he keeps bringing this to my attention as well. I feel I'm on the East Coast, but that we can get into a little bit more.
Hi there.
All right, we have Stacy with her hand raised.
Oh,
Hi,
hi, Stacey.
Stacy.
This is a little strange, which is why I didn't raise my hand. My mom and dad are in the spirit world. His name is John, but his second or third wife was Karen, and they had a little restaurant. That's why I didn't raise my hand, because he's not with my mom with the restaurant, but they're together now, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, and she was Karen.
No, his ex-wife was Karen, but my mom was something different.
Yeah,
And I
no,
do
that's
have
okay.
a Lynn.
Perfect. And you do have Lynn. And would you understand the connection going to the East Coast as well?
I live in New York.
Okay, perfect. Just very quickly, would you understand if I says to you that there would have been things taken from the restaurant that would still be here today, like the old placemats or the old
Yes.
cutlery, or and the menus as well?
Yes.
Perfect. And you would understand where I've got the photograph of them standing outside with the family name or the name of the business?
Yes.
I almost feel like we're standing maybe dad like looking up or something, but I know that
Yeah.
I've got a tremendous amount of pride in the success that I had built, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. And would you accept if I says to you that recently, maybe yesterday or the day before, just before the weekend, you were talking about these memories or talking about how proud your dad was and how hard he worked?
About my father, but not the business. Yes.
Okay, because again, I feel like the way he's presenting, the way he's came in, he just wants to say to you, he had been listening, he had been aware of this. I know what he's telling me to say is every dream starts from a thought. That thought then leads into the dream, that then leads into the imagination. It's up to you to create it. So I know his message to you, Stacey, is about you create what you're looking for just now. So he's giving you encouragement for moving forward, sweetie. But I know your mum was there because I could get the feeling of him and mum, the two parents, being in the spirit world.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Perfect. Stacey, thank you very much.
Oh,
You
thank
follow your
you.
dreams and know that Dad has been aware of those thoughts, darling.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Thank you. So very much aware of this young lady stepping forward here just now. And the moment that I connect here with her, I feel that she would have been a dancer. I feel maybe she would teach dancing or she would have been part of like dancing school. But I know I want to talk about dancing, different aspects of dancing. I know as she connects here with me, there would be a Cindy or a Cynthia name that would connect. I also know Sue or Susie would also connect here. I'm very aware of feeling with her the dancing could have maybe have been competitive or she'd done it really well to a degree of some awards or something, but I know I want to talk about the dancing being very significant to her life and to her memories. Okay, I know she goes to the spirit world with a short battle on her hands, and I am very aware of this feeling of cancer with her, if I can say that as well. I'm not sure if I'm immediate family, but I feel it could be like cousin or friend. I don't feel she's coming fully as sister.
Thank you. All right, who understands this information? Press your raise hand button, please.
I'm making us work tonight, aren't they?
More crickets. No hands raised just yet.
That's okay. I know also as I connect here with her, I am very much aware of wanting to talk about like cheerleading or cheer dance as well, because she keeps bringing my attention to this type of thing. And so I feel there's also a connection to dancing in school or teaching in school with this young lady as well here. The Cindy, I keep getting that very clear, Cindy being mentioned. But again, I feel there's something to do with family that are still here. And I know I'm going more to the West Coast, and I feel I could be going San Francisco or California, but I'm going more out to the West Coast with this beautiful lady as well here.
Thank you. Is someone getting a nudge? This may be for you. If yes, press your raise hand, please.
I feel she may have been in her late 50s, 60s when she passes. Again, she's certainly young as she connects here with me as well. And the gymnastics thing would be important to her as well. I certainly don't think she was doing that when she was 60s, but I feel like she would have either done trampolining, she's very athletic, as what she keeps showing me here.
Thank you. I know I'm having internet problems, so Darren, you may need to take over, but no one's hands
I'm just looking, I'm like, where is Sandra? She's not there.
I'm here, I'm here.
Yeah, she's definitely this teacher. She's definitely a teacher. She's connecting here with me. I also keep hearing the name Debbie. So I do also know somewhere there should be connections to Debbie as well. I actually thought that was her name for a second.
No hands are raised. I know. Somebody might not be speaking up. This happens. Get a little nervous.
So the impression I get with her, she would have spent time teaching. She would have been teaching as a physical teacher, the dancing, the gymnastics, the cheerleading. I know that she goes to the spirit world. Oh, there you are. I know she goes to the spirit world with a short illness with cancer. So I feel maybe over a 6-month period, I know the name Cindy or Cynthia would connect with this lady. I know Sue or Suzanne would also be very significant to your family, and also Debbie, if that's not her name. I know that I've got connections going out to the east, the west coast. Like I said, San Francisco, San Diego. I'm out that way with her as she connects here with me. Didn't feel immediate family, so I felt very much more like friend or cousin as I connected. So no takers. Oh, crumbs. Okay.
No takers.
I'm going to leave her then. I'm very annoyed with that because I feel it's quite strong, to be fair. But what can we do? What can we do? But I'm going to leave her for a moment, and if we have time, I'll see if we're able to reconnect with her or bring more connections back with her. But let me just see where else we go. Okay, so I'm now also becoming aware of a gentleman stepping forward from spirit that I do believe to be husband. Okay, so this would be your husband. Okay, I know as he connects here with me, he does bring to my attention of feeling like 1 minute everything was okay, everything was perfectly well and fine, and then the next he was gone. So it makes me feel his passing was quick or his passing was unexpected. I feel very peaceful with his passing though, so I do want to say that. He does come across very well dressed, very well educated as well. So I feel he may have had connections to being a banker or working as an accountant or finances. I feel the way he's presenting information to me, his figures, his numbers, etc., being significant as well. Felt he passed at home as he showed me this as well. So I'm just going to say that. And I know something to do with Bill would be connected with him, not actual bills, but the name Bill or William.
Thank you very much. We had two ladies hands up, I think, until you mentioned the name.
And then they ran away.
They did.
He keeps giving me the impression of wanting to talk about still to this day, you having a business card with his name or his details on it. But I know there would be a drawer either in an office or a study at home that would still have pieces of him. Like I said, the card, maybe a small diary or something, but I know that would still be here as well.
All right, we have Leora. Hi, Leora.
Hi again. Hello.
Hi, sweetie. Just tell me what you understand, darling.
Well, I understand the husband, the very peaceful, the very unexpected, the very well dressed, the banker, the not Bill or William. That Bill was the neighbor.
No, that's okay. Let me just get in with it. I know that I have to say Bill is in the spirit world with him. Okay, this is not someone physically alive. This is someone in the spirit world with him. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do you understand what I talked about? The business card or the card with his name and his credentials on it, telephone number and things?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay. I know as he connects here with me, as he's coming forward, he does keep reminding me to remind you that he didn't want to go. He didn't want to leave. I know he was excited about life. I know he loved life. I know that he had many plans or many dreams to embark, but he keeps telling me to say he's grateful that you still talk to him, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Because I know he talks about you still take him through life, you still mention these things, you still talk to him, but he also keeps trying to acknowledge about, I don't know if we planned on going down somewhere on a boat or taking a boat trip or something, but I feel I want to talk about going to a harbour or going to a port where I can see boats.
I can't think of that at the moment.
That's okay. I almost felt I was talking about going to do like a celebration in a sense, you know, like going to like take a river meal cruise or something. But I know there was something to do with the things that we had planned to do and the things that we were planning before his passing, if I can say that, because I really feel his passing being a shock or being unexpected.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He keeps telling me
Yes.
to say it's important for you not to sit back and let life continue passing you by. He wants you to know that you keep moving forward. He keeps moving forward with you. He says, don't let time pass you by. He says, I want you to be happy that I'm happy and we can both be happy as we move together. Okay, so it's important to know that. But I know when I talk about his work, he took a lot of pride in his clients, in his role, in his colleagues. I feel he was a very humble gentleman throughout his work.
Yes. Yes.
He just keeps telling me to say, just remember, I'm still the same husband. I'm still the same man you once fell in love with.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Just very quickly, is there a Dave or a Dan that connects to him at all?
His name's David.
Perfect. Okay. Just that little validation, so I knew that I was still in that connection. So lots of love from David to you, my darling.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you very much for allowing me to share that with you.
Thank you.
So I'm very much aware of, this is so bizarre, I'm very much aware of two ladies stepping forward here just now. The moment I connected with this, I kept seeing lots of flowers. So I know I've got Mum in the spirit world here, and I know I want to talk about being very, I was about to say Florence, that's a strange way to say it, very connected with flowers. So I know she would have been able to really dress her garden. I know that she knew her plants, she knew her seeds. I know she would have memories doing these with the kids as well, starting small with sunflowers and watching them grow up. I know that she would have, I almost feel like maybe competed in like the neighborhood gardens, or like dressed the garden so well that people would come specifically every year to see how Mum had done the garden, to see the way she's dressed it all. But like, the flowers is so significant to how she lived. I almost feel she could have been a florist. That was the word I wanted to use, not flora. She could have been a florist. I do feel very much towards Mum's life as she starts to get tired. I feel her mobility, so I feel she wasn't able to walk, she wasn't able to get down on her knees to get into the soil, into the grass of the garden. There must be a connection to Dorothy or Dottie, because I keep hearing Dottie, and I feel like a J female, like Janie or Janie or something like a J, that she keeps calling out to me here as well. Not sure who the other lady is as yet, but I've just got Mum. I feel it's her sister, but I could be wrong.
Thank you, Dominic. All right, who understands this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button, please.
Flower beds, that was the other word I was looking for. I could see that she had beautiful beds of different hycinations, or the roses, all these flowers. She loved her garden. She spent all her time doing this garden so well.
Thank you. Who understands this lady? Press your raise hand button. Elaine has her hand raised. Elaine, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Sandra. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Elaine. Just very quickly, would you understand this with the flowers, the garden, the being very specific and knowing what I'm doing in the garden?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Perfect. And the sisters in spirit, perfect. And would you understand where I get like the Dottie or the Dorothy kind of name?
Yes, there's a relative, and there's an Aunt Jess as well. There's a J.
Perfect, fabulous. But these would be in the spirit world, correct?
Yes, correct.
Because I want to talk about the family being together. I know there would be something to do with when Mum started to go downhill, if I could say that to you, either feeling that she wasn't able to be mobile. I feel issues with my hips, my knees. I feel she found it very difficult to walk or to be mobile. Would that be true?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, because I know it was frustrating for her not being able to do the yard or get out into the garden. But would you accept if I says to you that someone had taken either some cuttings or a piece of her garden to their own garden?
Yes, that would
She
be.
loved that.
Oh, really?
She loved that, because what she keeps telling me to say is all that love and nourishment that she put in for this to grow has been able to continue. Just because it's not in her yard, it's almost like she likes to see it blossom and bloom in other people's place. Do you understand?
Yeah.
She loves that. Absolutely loves that, darling. I know that she had a little bit of a cheeky side to her as well, or a little witty side to her, because I feel she almost had an answer for everything, Elaine, if I can say that to you.
Yes.
Yes, and I know that she also keeps talking to me about either you having a bracelet or a watch or something. There's something that you still have that you do not wear but would have been connected to the wrist like a bracelet. Would that be true? Or a bangle, if that's the other word.
Not me, but yes with the bangle.
Okay, because I feel it physical, so I know that it's not warm, but I know it should still be here to this day, if I can say that to you. I know just very quickly she's talking to me about an anniversary that would be coming up, going towards the next couple of days. Would that be true?
Yes.
Yeah, because again, she's talking about flowers aren't always just for happy times, but when flowers are presented for sad times, they bring in happiness. So always remember that. Do you know why I would get the impression of like maybe like in the neighborhood or the town, like her putting things into competition or putting her garden up for view?
She thought about it, but she didn't.
Okay. Because I know sometimes there would be competitions of who can harvest the biggest courgette or who could harvest the biggest butternut squash. I feel like she was very like in that thought process. Okay. But she just keeps telling me to say she took so much pride in making such a beautiful yard because people would always stop and look and pass remarks. And I feel she liked to sit on a small deck or a small porch and just watch people admire her hard work. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, I know wherever this other piece has been planted, people still admire her work. That's the most important thing. Okay. So I know that she sees her yard, her pieces, her roses, her petunias, whatever, she sees them all still blossom. She wants you and the family to know she still blossoms as well. Okay, so as we move through life, know that she's certainly doing that as well. And I just want to say to you, there's something I feel it may be you, but would you understand where I get the butterfly that connects to the wind chime or the sun catcher?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Because I know that she likes to twirl that around to cast it as well, my darling. So sincerely, thank you very much for allowing me to share that with you.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You take care.
Thank you. Dominic, you want to do one more? And then
I will see what I've got. One more, yeah.
If you do,
I'm very much perfect. I'm very much where I felt that I had a gentleman step forward. I know that as I connect with this gentleman, he would have been either a detective or he would have been a police officer. He presented me with, the strangest thing, a gun, but then he showed me his badge, so I know he legally could have his gun. But I know that as he connects here with me, someone still has maybe his old firearm. I know that there would be something to do with his uniform. I almost would talk about like still having handcuffs or handcuff keys as well, belonging with this beautiful man here. As it's my last, I'm got everything coming in all at once here, but I know there would be like an R connection, so Richard or Ray or something, or Randy, but I keep getting this R name as I connect here with him. And I do feel in some way as he goes to the spirit world again, I keep getting this whole impression of wanting to say, remember how I lived and the lives I touched, not the way I passed. So I feel either his passing being quick or feeling like I don't get to say goodbyes. It wasn't an easy passing for the family, is what he presents to me here.
Thank you very much. We have Patricia with her hand raised. Hello.
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 Hi, Patricia. Just very quickly, tell me what you understand, darling.
I spoke with my husband this morning and asked him to mention a gun because that would be so specific. So I know this is for me.
Okay, and do you understand the law enforcement? Do you understand the police officer?
Yes.
Perfect. And would you understand the Ray or the Rob, Ray, the R name connecting at all?
I can't, no, I would have to really think about the R name.
That's okay, sweetie. I'll hold that for a second, but you understand everything else that I've said, yeah?
Absolutely.
Perfect. And would you understand if I said to you as well about the things being kept, like the handcuffs or the key? Also, we've talked about the gun, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. I know as he connects you with me, he is telling me to say that he has been trying to show you that he's been trying to work with you, trying to be part of you. So I feel in some way he has seen where maybe you've embarked on your own spiritual growth or your own unfoldment. Would that be true?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. He keeps telling me to say, you remember you are your own person, you have your own voice. So I feel he's trying to give you this encouragement of your own journey as well as trying to give you that support. He would not miss a thing. I feel like if you went to restaurants, he always had to face the door. He always wanted to see the exit. He watched everything, correct?
Correct.
Because I feel he was a nightmare. And what I mean by this is he tells me to say, looking back and reflecting, date nights weren't always date nights, unfortunately, because he wasn't always present. And he apologizes to you for this. He says, Darren, now I see I was too busy looking at this, watching this, doing this. And he keeps telling me to say, thank her for being so patient with me. Thank her for being so patient with me. Okay, he must have had such a remarkable send-off, if I can say that to you, sweetie, because I know that there would have been other officers and other agencies, etc., that would have came from out of state or out of town to be there to celebrate your husband as well, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, because he keeps telling me to say he felt so honoured, and I know that he had been honoured through his service as well, whether his name had been placed somewhere or you were giving a memorial in some way, but he keeps telling me to say he felt that his name was not in vain. Okay, so he's so appreciative of that, if I can say that to you, sweetie. Just very quickly, we didn't let a dove off for him, did we, as a symbol of peace?
No.
No, because it keeps doing this, and I keep seeing this dove flying out of hands here, sweetie. So I have to say to you, symbolically, he's showing that sense of freedom and peace for himself, but perhaps that's also a message for you.
If I may interrupt, he did have a 21 gun salute. I'm sorry, I know it's supposed to be yes, no, or I don't know.
That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. But I just know that he just keeps showing me this dove going into the sky as well, and that great sense of my peace to you, knowing that he's at peace as well, Darren. But again, he kept saying to me, I don't want her to keep focusing on how I pass. I want her to focus on how I lived. How I lived is more important to him, sweetie, okay? Just very quickly, I know he tells me to mention Thomas to you, or Tom, and I know that should be a connection to Alfie or Ralphie in some way as well. So I feel he was very popular in work, but also out work as well, if I can say, Darren.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Just remember, you and I will always be married. He keeps saying, you will always be my sweetheart. Thank you for the life you gave me, he says.
Thank you.
Very welcome. God bless you, Darren. Thank you very much. Sandra, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Friends, if you want to press your raise hand button, just as a little round of applause there, thanking Dominic and his work with the spirit world. We'll have Dominic back in a few weeks' time. You can find out more about him on his website, DominicBoag.com. He's written the book called The Voice of Spirit. Also, if you'd like to join him and Darren, our friend Scott, spirit artist Josephine, and some friends on a beautiful retreat in the Netherlands in November, you can do that. Just go to the website togetherwithspirit.com. So we've got some good things coming up at wedon'tdie.com. Our new mediums classes just began last week, so you can jump aboard if you'd like to, and you'll get the replay of the one that you missed. You can join live or by replay all of our classes. Tomorrow, I'm in a great class with our friend Scott Milligan. It's called Trance and the Altered States. Different than other medium classes, this is a time for you, your soul, your loved ones, those that work with you. We spend much of the time with our eyes closed, feeling that gentle blending of love. Our first class last week was real special, being introduced to our loved ones and our friends that work with us in the unseen world. Very special. Again, you can find everything I'm going to say at wedon'tdie.com. You can click on the store page for that. On Tuesday, our friend Scott is doing what we call sitting in the power hours. It's a beautiful time to just recharge that spiritual battery, find peace, healing. Really, really wonderful. On let's see what else is coming up. On next Sunday, we've got our guest medium is Tim Southwell, and we have a wonderful guest speaker called Catherine McHugh. So that's at wedon'tdie.com. Also, 2 new podcast episodes of mine that you might want to know about. On We Don't Die, you can meet a nice lady named Sophia Demas, and we talk about miracles, coincidences, and our consciousness surviving after death. She's got some incredible stories that tie right in with what I was saying about having gratitude before something happens. And then on Shades of the Afterlife, there's several near-death experience stories that are all talk about how we as humans deal with anxiety and fear, and how these experiences show that loved ones are always around and we don't need to be so scared of life. So that's Shades of the Afterlife. And last, I just want to say a thank you to all who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. You know who you are, and we really appreciate it. It gets expensive running all this, but we appreciate it. If you wish to give, you certainly may. Just go to wedon'tdie.com and click on the Sunday Gathering page, and then you can watch lots of replays and register for next week right there while you're at it. So I'll turn it over to Darren for some words for the week and the closing prayer.
Thank you for that, Sandra, and thank you to Dominic and Sandra. It's always a joy and a privilege to work with you guys, the 3 musketeers. And now I'm looking forward to that pina colada. But I hope you've all really enjoyed this week. For me, and I don't know about these guys, I'm sure it has for them, it's made me happy. It's made me smile. And I want to share a quote with you from, believe it or not, Disney. And it says, happiness is the richest thing we will ever own. And how true is that? Happiness doesn't have to cost a penny. You know, we've already spoke earlier about how you can create your own happiness and make your own happiness. So I won't go on and on about that again. But, you know, how true words are they? Happiness is the richest thing we will ever own. We're in control of our lives. We're in control of ourselves. So it's down to us to make ourselves happy. Make yourselves the richest person in the world with happiness. And you guys know how to do it, and you know what to do. So go out there, make the most of it. We always hear life in this world is short, and it truly is. So truly go out there, grasp it with everything you can, and make the most of it. But most of all, be happy. That's what it's all about. And if you're happy, we're happy. If we're happy, everyone's happy. And what better motivation than everyone in the entire world for once to all be happy? So just send those thoughts and spread that joy, and anything is possible, as we know. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for today's closing prayer. We'd like to send thanks to our friends, brothers and sisters from within our lands for coming together here today in unity, allowing once again for the 2 worlds to come together as one. And would like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones in the unseen world for once again allowing us to absorb your words and thoughts shared through the minds of our workers here today, allowing us to feel that joy, that happiness, that healing and an upliftment, and for allowing us to come together in unity as one, regardless of country of residence, language spoken, or personal backgrounds and personal understanding. As we know, there is no boundaries within your world. There's only truly one language of the world, and that's the language of love that has allowed us once again to come together in unity and be immersed in that unconditional love and that healing balm once again, allowing us to leave this gathering in a far better place. And we'd like to thank our friends, helpers and loved ones for allowing us the opportunity to walk hand in hand, side by side, and representing your world here today. Each and every one of us does this to the best of our ability and the best of our own understanding. And we truly hope we've made a difference for mankind here today and made you proud. So as we leave this Sunday gathering and allow the sun to set on this day, we go forward to the dawn of a new day and a new week, continuing our own individual journeys of life. And as we go through that journey of life, we do so trying to create the most amount of happiness we can for each individual, including ourselves. And we can continue to strive forward in complete happiness, knowing that you continually walk by our side, day in and day out, helping us, guiding us, and inspiring us to truly be the best person we can be. And we can continue to go forward in truth and understanding that love and life are both eternal. And we ask, as always, that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of the world, to bring that joy and that happiness that we all experience to all those hearts and minds that may be in need on this day. And until we meet again, my friends, amen.
Thank you so much, Darren and Dominic, and to you all and to our friends in the spirit world. We love you. Thank you. We're going to play one last song, reminding us each to be unique and do our life, not in someone else's way, but in our way. So here's my way. Thank you all. We love you. Thanks for staying till the end. We'll see you next week. Bye.